Namaste children. In our last class we discussed about epithelial tissue. In today's class we will discuss about another tissue, that is connective tissue. See, as the name indicates, this tissue connects two organs, or it connects different organ systems in our body and provides support to the body. That's why it got a name connective tissue, or it is also called binding tissue. So it is widely distributed tissue in our body, and it mainly supports by connecting the tissues and organs which are present in our body. It has many functions in our body, and this connective tissue is derived from mesoderm. It is derived from mesoderm. So epithelial tissue is derived from all the three germinal layers: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm, whereas connective tissue is derived from mesoderm. This connective tissue is again classified into loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue and specialized connective tissue. Understood? So, dense connective tissue. So, this connective tissue is again divided into loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue and specialized connective tissue. Under loose connective tissue, we have areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Whereas under dense connective tissue, we have again two types: dense regular connective tissue and dense irregular connective tissue. So we have dense regular connective tissue and dense irregular connective tissue. Under specialized connective tissue, we have blood, bone and cartilage. So these three come under specialized connective tissue. Understood? So the connective tissue, it is classified into three types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue and specialized connective tissue. Again, the loose connective tissue is classified into areolar connective tissue, areolar loose connective tissue, adipose tissue, dense regular connective tissue, dense irregular connective tissue, and a specialized we have blood, cartilage and bone. So let us discuss individual connective tissues now. All these connective tissues except the blood will have fibers, which they are made up of fibers which are made up of proteins like collagen or elastin that provides strength to connective tissue. So the fibers are absent in blood, whereas they are present in all other types of connective tissue. Let's see a computative question. Except in blood, we can see fibers in all types of connective tissue. Coming to loose areolar connective tissue, so the diagram they will ask for 3 marks. So in this we have fibroblast, okay. So this is round substance or matrix. So this is the diagram. We will discuss each labelings now. And these fibroblasts, they secrete fibers. They secrete two types of fibers. One is collagen fibers, another one is elastic fibers. These fibers give strength, flexibility and elasticity to the tissue. Whereas mast cell secretes three types of chemicals like histamine, serotonin and heparin. So the mast cell secretes three types of chemical substances like histamine, serotonin and heparin. So these chemicals, histamine mainly responsible for allergic reactions, heparin acts as an anticoagulant, serotonin acts as a vasoconstrictor, histamine acts as a vasodilator. Understood? Mast cells contain granules. That granule secretes three types of chemicals like histamine, which secretes chemical substance that mainly responsible for vasodilator. Vasodilator means blood vessels will expand, they increase in their width. Whereas serotonin, again it constricts the blood vessels. It decreases the width of the blood vessels. Heparin acts as an anticoagulant. It prevents the clotting of blood. Understood? So, this is about the mast cells. Next, coming to the plasma cell secretes antibodies. So, by secreting antibodies, it provides immunity to our body. These antibodies kills disease causing microbes, thereby it provides immunity to our body. And the macrophages are also called osteocytes. They are also called osteocytes. These macrophages means they eat other cell. That means they are going to kill or eat bacteria and viruses or disease causing microbes. Thereby again they prevent diseases. Hagagi, they also provide immunity to our body by killing the disease causing microbes. So macrophages kill the disease causing microbes like bacteria and virus. Adipose cells mainly stores fat. It mainly stores fat. And these fibroblasts are also secrete chemical substances which is made up of polysaccharides. So that is going to deposit between the cells and forms a ground substance or matrix. So the matrix is nothing but it is a substance. It is a chemical substance present between the cells, secreted by these cells only. Mainly it contains mucopolysaccharides. It contains mainly mucopolysaccharides. Understood? So, loose areolar connective tissue is made up of mast cell, elastic fibers, collagen fibers, macrophages, adipose cell and plasma cells. These elastic fibers are branched. They are single unbranched. Elastic fibers are single and they are branched, whereas collagen fibers are unbranched. They are present in bundle. We'll discuss the difference between collagen fibers and elastic fibers. In your competitive, they may ask mast cell secretes 3 types of chemicals. Histamine, which acts as a vasodilator, serotonin acts as a vasoconstrictor, heparin acts as an anticoagulant. Collagen fibers and elastic fibers. So, collagen fibers, they are unbranched and they are present in bundle, whereas elastic fibers are branched and they are single and branched. Collagen fibers are made up of a protein called collagen. They are made up of a protein called collagen, whereas elastic fibers are made up of a protein called elastin. And one more thing, the collagen fibers are also called white fibers, whereas elastic fibers are also called yellow fibers. They are also called yellow fibers. These collagen fibers provide firmness to the tissue, whereas elastic fibers provide elasticity to the tissue. That's the difference between collagen fibers and elastic fibers. Collagen fibers, they are unbranched and they are present in bundle. The fibers are made up of protein called collagen and they provide firmness to the tissue. Whereas elastic fibers, they are branched, single and branched. They are made up of protein called elastin and they provide elasticity to the tissues. Understood? This is about loose areolar connective tissue. Main thing, the function you have to remember, macrophages acts as a scavenger because it is going to kill disease causing microbes like bacteria and virus, and also worn out cells are going to be eaten by these macrophages. That's why they are also called scavenger cells. Adipose cells mainly stores the fat, and plasma cells provides antibodies. It produces antibodies. That antibodies provide immunity to an organism. So this is about loose areolar connective tissue. Then we will move with adipose tissue. So that loose areolar connective tissue is present beneath the skin and provides support to the epithelium. Even adipose tissue is also present beneath the skin and blood vessels. And this mainly in adipose tissue, we see the cells, excess of glucose what we take. When we take more amount of food, the glucose production will be more. The unused glucose will be converted into fat and they are going to store in tissue called adipose tissue. They are going to store in a tissue called adipose tissue. So as the fats start accumulating, the nucleus is pushed towards the periphery. It is pushed towards the periphery. So this is all fat. So it is a type of modified loose areolar tissue. Adipose tissue is a modified loose areolar tissue specialized to store fat. Mainly it is specialized to store fat. This is a fat nucleus. Understood? So what is going to be stored inside the adipose tissue? Fat. The unused glucose molecules will be converted in fat and they are going to be stored in adipose tissue. Understood? So it is also present beneath the skin. This is about adipose tissue. Between the adipose cells we can see the matrix or ground substance. Then we will move with dense connective tissue. See, under dense connective tissue we have dense regular connective tissue. Another one is dense irregular connective tissue. So in the dense regular connective tissue, if this is a fibroblasts and fibers are arranged in a proper orientation. They are arranged in a layer by layer like this. These are fibroblasts and these are fibers. The arrangement of fibroblasts and fibers have a proper orientation. It's called dense regular connective tissue. Whereas in irregular tissue, the orientation is absent and haphazardly they are arranged. The fibers are also, cells and fibers are not have any proper orientation. Understood? That type of tissue is called dense irregular connective tissue. This is called dense regular connective tissue. Example for dense regular connective tissue, we have tendons and ligaments. Tumba jana confuse ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀರಾ. Tendons connects skeletal muscles to bones. Tendon connects skeletal muscle to bones. whereas ligaments connects bones to bones, one bone with another bone. Understood? Under dense regular connective tissue, examples we have tendons and ligaments. Tendons connect skeletal muscles to bones that helps in movement, locomotion. Ligaments connects one bone with another bone. That's you have to remember for your competitive exams. Dense irregular connective tissue is present beneath the skin. Is present beneath the skin. So this is about dense connective tissue. Idರಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು tendons and ligaments come under dense regular connective tissue where the fibroblasts and fibers are arranged with a proper orientation. Understood? In the irregular, episodally arranged cells and fibers are seen. So this is about dense connective tissue. Coming to specialized connective tissue, we have cartilage, bone and thread. So under cartilage, so this is perichondrium. The perichondrium will have blood supply. It is having blood supply. These are lacunae. Inside that cell we see chondrocytes. This is matrix or ground substance. Understood? Cartilage, it is a solid, pliable connective tissue which resists compression. Which resists compression. So, it is a solid, pliable tissue and also it resists compression. This cartilage mainly seen in vertebrates embryo. Cartilage mainly seen in vertebrates embryo and is slowly replaced by both in adults. Understood? So in a vertebrate embryo we see the skeletal system is made up of cartilage, that too hyaline cartilage. After that the cartilage will slowly replaced by bones. And also this cartilage is seen in tip of the nose. It is seen in tip of the nose, external outer ear joints. And also between the vertebral columns, between the bones of the vertebral columns, limbs and hands in adults, we see this cartilage. It's all your competitive question. Cartilage is solid, pliable connective tissue which resists compression. So the cartilage is having out, when we take a section we see outer layer is called perichondrium. Inside the perichondrium we see a matrix ground substance called matrix which is made up of chondroitin sulfate. It is made up of chondroitin sulfate. Inside that matrix we see empty spaces called lacunae. Inside that lacunae we see a cell called chondrocytes. We see a cell called chondrocytes, and these chondrocytes are mainly responsible for the formation of cartilage tissue. Understood? So this tissue mainly resists compression, and this tissue we see in embryos, vertebrate embryos. Later it is going to be deposited or it is replaced by bones in adults. And this cartilage is also seen in tip of the nose, outer ear joints, and between the vertebral, this is a vertebral column, between these vertebral bones of vertebral columns we see the cartilage. Because of the presence of cartilage we are able to bend. So that is about cartilage. Understood? So what you have to remember, cartilage is solid pliable tissue which resists compression. It is having a cells called chondrocytes present in an empty space called lacunae. The ground substance of matrix is made up of chondroitin sulfate, and this cartilage is seen in embryos, vertebrate embryos, and also in the tip of the nose, outer ear joints, and between the bones of vertebral columns, limbs, and ants in adults. Understood? This is about cartilage. Then we will move in another specialized connective tissue, that is blood. So blood is hard, non-pliable connective tissue. Which is deposited with calcium salts and collagen fibers. Calcium salts and collagen fibers, which provides strength to the bone, So this bone. So bone is a hard, non-pliable connective tissue which is deposited with calcium salts and collagen fibers that provide strength to the bone. And this bone mainly provides a structural frame to the body. Bone provides a structural frame to the body, and also it protects softer tissues and organs, and also it protects, bone is going to protect softer tissues and organs. When it is attached with muscles, when bones are attached with skeletal muscles, it helps in movement of locomotion, and some bone marrows are able to produce blood cells also. Understood? So coming to the bone, when you take a section, we can see Eversian system. Inside the Eversian system, we have a Eversian canal. So these are lacunae. Inside the lacunae, we see bone cells. Inside the lacunae, we can see bone cells called osteocytes. Bone cells called osteocytes. So this one is, center one is Eversian canal. Eversian canal. Inside the Eversian canal, we can see nerve, artery and vein. So inside the Eversian canal, we see nerve, artery and vein. Around the Eversian canal, we see many empty spaces called lacunae. each lacunae contain a bone cell called osteocytes. So the one concentric ring or circle of lacunae is called lamellae. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಕಲ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? It's called lamellae. And each lamellae are connected with finger-like projections called canaliculi. Each lamellae or each osteocytes are connected with each other with a-like structures called canaliculi. This is called canaliculi. And this system is called Eversian system. Eversian system, or it is called osteon. So when we take section of a bone, we see it is functional, structural and functional unit of bone is called Eversian system or osteon. What it contains? It contains central canal called Eversian canal. Inside that Eversian canal we see a nerve, artery and vein. Understood? Artery, you know that it provides oxygenated blood. Vein carry deoxygenated blood. And nerve mainly innervates bone. And this canal is surrounded by many empty spaces called lacunae. Inside that lacunae we see a bone cell called osteocytes. And one concentric lacunae layer is called lamellae, and each lamellae are interconnected with each other called through a finger-like air-like structures called canaliculi. And 2 or 3 Eversian systems are interconnected with each other by Olkman's canal. 2 or 3 Eversian systems are interconnected with each other by Olkman's canal. This is about bone. So bone is a hard connective tissue. It is a hard specialized connective tissue. It is non-pliable and it provides strength to our body due to the deposition of calcium salts and collagen fibers. It provides structural frame to a body and it protects softer tissues and organs. When skeletal muscles are attached to bones, it helps in locomotion. And some bone marrows are able to produce blood cells like pelvic bone. And some bones are also weight bearing bones. Thigh bone, thigh bone is a longest bone in our body and it bears weight also. Weight bearing bone is thigh bone. So that bone, when we take section, we see a structural and functional unit of bone called Eversian system or osteon. Inside that we see Eversian canal surrounded by lacunae. Inside that we see osteocytes. One concentric layer of lacunae is called lamellae, and each lamellae are interlinked with canaliculi. 2 or 3 Eversian systems are interlinked with Olkman's canal. So for you they may ask functions of bone anta keldaga you have to write it is a hard connective tissue, specialized hard connective tissue. It is where we see the deposition of calcium salts and collagen fibers, provides structural frame to the body, protects softer tissues and organs. When it is attached with skeletal muscles, it helps in locomotion, and some bone are able to produce blood cells also. Understood? So that is about connective tissue. In the next class we will discuss about blood. Thank you.